All right, guys. Hi, I'm Tom Palmer. Now we're going to take a look at the other fights on UFC 183. Interestingly enough, we don't like either one of the two main events, the main event and the co-main event, to actually take money, to put money on it, but we're going to take a look at it. Anderson Silva, Nick Diaz, like we talked about a little bit earlier, kind of an unusual fight for Dana and Joe and the powers that be to put on. Obviously, this is Anderson Silva's comeback fight since he broke his leg against Chris Weidman. Interesting opponent, Nick Diaz. Obviously, he's a guy that UFC fans obviously know pretty well known, pretty outspoken guy. Typically puts on an entertaining fight. In this fight right here, Anderson Silva's minus 400. Nick Diaz is plus 325. I understand the reasoning behind the numbers. If Anderson Silva's leg is sound, it would be literally impossible for him to lose this fight. He's bigger, he's longer, he's not going to get knocked out, he's certainly not going to get outboxed or out-kickboxed, and he's not going to get submitted on the ground with Nick Diaz. The one hesitation I have with saying go ahead and put money on Anderson Silva is his leg. A guy coming off a broken tibia and fibula, you kind of wonder where his, physically where he is. You wonder where he is mentally as well. I mean, this is, a pretty devastating injury. There's a lot of guys in the NFL that sustained the injury and never played again. Anthony Phillips was one. Tim Krumrie was another. Joe Theismann's a third. So you look at a similar type injury when the tibia and the fibula snap in half. You wonder where a guy can be. You wonder if Nick Diaz is going to go after that leg. You wonder if he's going to try to kick the leg or he's going to try to take him down and try to work over the leg. So all things being equal, Anderson Silva obviously is the prohibitive favorite in this fight. Again, I don't see a way he can possibly lose when you consider the styles and the size of these guys and what their strengths and perceived weaknesses are. But again, I'm just not comfortable enough, not knowing what's going on, above the ears with Anderson and with his leg, to be confident in putting those odds. So we're going to go ahead and say pass. Then if you absolutely have to have action, I think Anderson Silva is probably a pretty safe bet, but I'm personally not going to bet the fight myself. The other fight that we're going to look at, Kelvin Gastelum and Tyron Woodley. Gastelum was the guy who was the last pick on the Ultimate Fighter show and actually won the show when he beat Uriah Hall at the middleweight. He's now dropped down to 170. Looks really good. Looks like he is a legitimate contender at welterweight in the UFC. Gas tank for days. The striking looks a lot better than it did on the show. Coming around, not ready to say wager on the guy just quite yet. Tyron Woodley is maybe the most impressive physical specimen in the sport today. Just a guy that again looks like he was put on earth to hurt other people. Big bone structure. Big back, big butt, big thighs, big shoulders. He's just a well-built guy, pretty explosive guy, certainly a wrestler, but a guy that maybe has some question marks with his gas tank, and that's certainly where Kelvin Gastelum's strength lies, is his ability to outpace and out-tempo guys over the course of a fight. So again, kind of leaning towards Kelvin, but wouldn't be surprised at all to see Tyron use his explosiveness. He's looked awfully good in his fights. Like I said, he took out some really tough guys like Jay Haran, which actually caused, I think, Jay to actually retire after that fight, and looked awfully good against some other guys as well. Fight against Carlos Condit, maybe a little bit fluky, Condit injured his knee, but Woodley looked good up until the injury type thing. So again, if you're just absolutely have to get some action, I'd probably go Gastelum, but I don't feel confident enough to tell somebody to wager it. So